Gen.G versus FaZe, a best of 7 to be crowned champion. Let's get into the games.
The hottest start to any season we've ever seen in the RLCS continues. And Gen.G, 16-1 in their last 17 series, looking for yet another crown.
The team on the other side, though, is on a hot streak with FaZe Clan. They've been unbeatable at times. But can they turn this split around? And that wasn't necessarily the best start for them, but maybe a good start in this series. Chance here, ball high, typical, trying to get that first goal, but will be sent away to the side.
You got the two hottest offenses in the tournament. 2.6 goals per game out of FaZe Clan, led in large part by FirzKiller. This one, though, coming from Mist off the feed from FK, and FaZe strikes first.
Oh, much respect. And look at this, off the ceiling is Mist. Great shot. Chronic wasn't even expecting it. And FaZe with a hot start here in game one. Just full control in the first 30 seconds.
Make that now 20 goals for Mist in this tournament. Everybody always talks about his defense, but he is a very adept scorer as well. He's picked up a lot of the pieces for FaZe Clan in this event, as opposed to the Winter Open. FirzKiller let that one go by. Missed there on the doorstep, almost picked up another, but Nolly right there in his face.
Talked to FirzKiller earlier today. Again, this new FaZe Clan kind of play style. He said he felt a bit inspired by Gen.G, but that being said, he wants to take down this Gen.G Mobil 1 team. The question is this new play style enough? It's gonna be a test going up against the team that's given him this inspiration.
Mist tracking over, he's got a full tank of boost, usually the one the furthest back for FaZe Clan, as you would imagine, because of his defense. Typical, it would surprise everybody to know, he's usually the most forward for FaZe Clan. You'd think it'd be FirzKiller where he does all the scoring. Not the case. It's Typical who has been the catalyst offensively for FaZe Clan in this Winter Cup. Oh. And he almost added a second goal for FaZe Clan.
The shot from Typical. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that G2 series from FaZe, saying that, you know, they were playing a little bit more defensively, kind of in their own back half, so it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if Typical's out in front. Here's FirzKiller, though, looking for that top right corner, not able to find it. And Gen.G Mobil 1 kind of struggling in terms of getting really any offense going. They haven't had a single shot this game. FaZe Clan has been dictating the pace.
Apparently Jack stuffed by FirzKiller as FaZe Clan continues to apply the pressure to the reigning and defending regional champs.
Ooh.
And Nolly coming across to make one save. Chronic making another. Typical lobbing another to the backboard, and Nolly's got this. Everybody on deck defensively for Gen.G, but they're not able to move very far forward. Jack had Mist behind him. Mist trying to bounce one in here. That one's saved, and apparently Jack there to dismiss Typical's follow-up effort as well. And again, it remains only the 1-goal lead for FaZe Clan, but they continue to dump things right back into the Gen.G half. FirzKiller shot wide. Mist is over there. He'll clean it up, and it's 2-0.
It's just full control here of the offense from FaZe. Look at that. Great setup from Mist as well. Oh, missed the shot, FirzKiller, don't worry. Turns it on a dime and places it in. So much offense here from FaZe that even when there's a lapse there, Chronic even hesitated to go for a ball and challenge it, just kind of showing that, you know, Gen.G right now have been so used to playing defense that they've been playing reactionary to FaZe Clan rather than setting the tone. You finally see something there from Jack, but Typical was set in net. Here comes the counter from FaZe off the crossbar, but Mist isn't going to take the shot. Chance for Jack, looking for the double, and it's good! Jack bringing this game within 1.
This starts right at the back with that demolition. Nobody's going to be able to get back in time for FaZe. Nolly up ahead to Jack. Wide open, double tap, does not miss. Inside 2 minutes, Gen.G, almost like they needed to give up that goal just to get a kickoff and reset things because FaZe was not letting them out of the zone. And now they've got another. Nolly up ahead for Chronic. And he's quickly onto this from the corner, but Mist and FirzKiller will clear the zone. Jack's got to get a hand up, and does, but it's not enough! First Killer lands the double.
You cannot make a mistake here against First Killer. So quick to get downfield, uses all his boost. That is a tight angle for the double. Straight down and into the lower right corner. And FaZe Clan making a statement here against Gen.G.
First Killer is just faster right now, as apparently Jack got around him, but there is typical. He's got missed all the way across, going headhunting. Couldn't take out Nolly. Now First Killer right at Nolly again, and still some trouble in front of the Gen.G net, as it is all chaos right now. The one thing about Gen.G, look, they've been outclassed in games in this stretch. His First Killer will add another, but they usually recover. They recover better than anybody else, it seems like, from game to game, because they're honest with themselves and they're able to analyze their mistakes, and nobody gets offended if somebody gets called out.
That's exactly what Gen.G Mobil are going to need to as well, is like being able to have that kind of conversation. Because right now you can tell, stunned by the amount of just offensive firepower FaZe Clan is pushing out, and also the way they're finding each other. You saw that from First Killer, that even that little pass to miss, and the way even typical with the fake on the other goal was fantastic. Jack's gonna make this within 2, not necessarily, meaning Gen.G Mobil 1. There's a chance here for them to come back, but you're gonna look at that clock, 1 minute, 2 seconds left, as Jack put a great shot into that top right corner.
He's got both goals for Gen.G. That matches a pair from First Killer and a pair from Mist. That's the difference right now. Nolly on the kickoff almost made it real interesting going into the final minute. That win from Mist makes the task even tougher for Gen.G. First Killer almost maybe put it away, but now Nolly with Chronic already in the air and not able to get on the other end of whatever Nolly was going for, and Missed back the other way. Back goes Gen.G to their own half with about 30 seconds left, but that's kind of the danger of Gen.G, right? As Typical rolls one in, and that should just about put game 1 away.
Yeah, this one from Chronic, he's looking for the ground pinch. That's a strong challenge out of Typical. Kept the ball low and close, and then able to sink that follow-up in. Going back to that play from Nolly and Chronic, what I enjoyed from it was the fact that they were able to bring out so many members of FaZe Clan, and Nolly saw that while in the air, FaZe has a read on this, I might as well just make this a solo play to try to throw things off. Good idea, but not good enough. This FaZe Clan team has been set so far, and they've been able to not only match the speed from Gen.G Mobil 1, but increase the demand of more, again, just matching with them toe-to-toe. If you're too slow, FaZe Clan have shown that they'll take full advantage of it. As the clock ticks down, game 1, all in favor of FaZe, as this series is just getting started, Stacks. We are going to be in for a wild ride.
That FaZe Clan makes a statement in game number 1.
Wow.
Absolutely dominate the Gen.G squad that has just run roughshod over North America over the past several months. But again, we keep coming back to it's one game. And even though it is only one game, we're getting a timeout. It was just like that Gen.G wants a TO after a 5-2 loss in game 1. I can't think of any series where I've seen a timeout after game 1.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, this is definitely something unexpected here. You see Jack already getting the conversations going, everybody's kind of talking things out. And I think it really did. You could see it, right? Just that level of dominance FaZe Clan had in that opening couple of minutes at least. It was, it made people like, example, Corelli on the desk, that confidence pick in FaZe Clan was showing. And I think for Gen.G Mobil 1, they're just trying to shut things down immediately and reset the pace as quickly as possible before things get too out of control. I'm really interested in seeing how this timeout works for them.
Well, our statistician, D-Rect, who is just the absolute GOAT behind the scenes for us, he's got data on about over 300 timeouts called throughout the RLCS. This is only the second one he's got after game 1, as we look back at a dominant performance, especially out of First Killer and Mist. Mist got it started with a couple of goals. First Killer brought them across the finish line at the end, And then Typical added one as well. He had a goal and an assist. A lot of confidence over there on the side of First Killer and FaZe Clan, and rightfully so, after they have that long layoff, right? You know, they played the first semifinal, and then you worry about how hot is a team like Gen.G going to be coming in, playing back-to-back, playing that second semi. Nah, they extinguished that flame real quick.
They did, and it shows you that they can what level of gameplay they can bring to the table at a moment's notice. And I think that that's going to be something that Gen.G really have to speak about, because how do you stop a team that's hot like that? I mean, even First Killer, they already gave him assist of the week after the last series because they were just playing on another level. Gen.G Mobile 1 has to match that level. They have to surpass it if they want to win this grand finals. This FaZe Clan is hungry, and they're showing it on the field.
Well, what adjustments will Gen.G make with that long timeout? That's the adjustment. Nolly's shot sent away by First Killer. So they're on the attack early on here. This Mist will pop one away. Nolly over to Chronic. They're being very patient now. Chronic trying to play through the back wall. Typical's got it red. Apparently Jack doesn't have anybody to follow this play up. Typical and First Killer run into each other. Here goes Chronic. Flip reset, brought to ground, and still saved away by Mist and then by Typical. Here comes First Killer. It's almost fitting that he would score, but he's blocked by Nolly.
I mean, the defensive stop there from FaZe was incredible. They literally put a wall up in front of the net and didn't allow anything through. The touches were solid, and now they're looking to see if they can make something happen here on the counterattack. That was a very strong stretch, though, of offense from Gen.G Mobile 1 at the start, but not necessarily enough, as we are still scoreless. They put on about 5 shots there, though, Stacks.
It's the game within the game that gets played over these long best-of-7 series. As Mist will play it out to the side, you've got to be ready mentally. What a save by First Killer, sending that off the crossbar. And then apparently Jack leaving this one for Chronic off the challenge. And his shot denied by First Killer, already a savior medal for him as FaZe Clan continue to stifle the Gen.G attack. You knew that Gen.G was going to bring the house at you. You knew that they were going to try something else, and you've got to be focused early on in that game, because that's when they're most likely to break out what they've got up their sleeve. FaZe have weathered the storm, and now we kind of reset into kind of a normal game, which, based on game 1, greatly favors FaZe Clan.
Yeah. FaZe Clan have been, I mean, you can see exactly what First Killer was talking about with that team environment, that team play. It's there. And the selflessness has been solid. But this one has still been 0-0 in the first couple of minutes. Definitely a different Gen.G than we saw from game 1. They've been able to match with the speed here and honestly put FaZe Clan in some really tough spots. You could almost make a montage out of all the saves FaZe have made this game. We hit that halfway point though, still scoreless.
Chronic has Nolly down on the ground. That didn't go nearly as far as Chronic would have liked. And apparently Jack with a full tank of boost, having a tough time getting this quickly out of the zone, needed Nolly's help. But First Killer's got this, so he almost let that get away. And then goes right through Chronic, and after all that, no problem at all for FaZe Clan as they clear the zone again. Still scoreless here past the midway mark of game 2 after a 5-2 victory in game 1. That, if you're just joining us, Gen.G have already burned their timeout. Nolly plays one downfield off the double, and Typical right to First Killer. I mean, we're seeing something out of FaZe Clan too that we just have not seen in previous seasons since they joined the RLCS.
Yeah.
They have a very strong defensive squad, only allowing 1.15 goals per game. That's what First Killer's averaging scoring himself right now.
And that's why it's been so tough for them to be beaten so far in this tournament. Here's First Killer looking for the bump on Nolly, but Nolly, great awareness. He leaves this one up, leaves it for Jag. Jag got the flip reset, but it's missed in the net. He's gonna stop that out. Gives it to First Killer, who's trying to lead the charge here. FaZe Clan have been able to really get solid on that transition game, and this transition game was a big reason why they beat G2. This time, though, it's not working as well as because Gen.G has been able to, I mean, you have Nolly in that backline, and the awareness has been phenomenal. And everybody else has been able to honestly kill that FaZe pressure and turn things around right now. We're going to the final minute, though, and no goal has been scored in game 2.
Oh, that's a good win by Nolly. He's got apparently Jack coming in as well. Nolly trying to get in Mist's way, and it just did not work out for Gen.G that time either. Chronic to the corners. Typical has it red. Mist waiting very patiently in the net. That's kind of his home away from home. Typical now, float one up, and Mist kind of waiting. Here goes Nolly with first killer, tracking defensively, making the save with 30 seconds left. Mist pops that one away, and first killer makes sure Chronic doesn't have the rebound. Oh, apparently Jack now, opportunity, and Typical jumps in his way as well. FaZe Clan scrambling, but it does not yield anything for Gen.G. That was almost awkward on the blue half. Here goes Typical, 10 seconds. First killer to his left. Can't get onto this one for a second touch, and we seem earmarked for overtime unless Gen.G have some last-second heroics. Ball bounces one more time. First killer will let it go. We go to overtime.
Yeah, it was smart on FK to let that go. But more defensively than offensive has been FaZe this game. And definitely the same for Gen.G on the other side. But this one has been so close. You're not really seeing it because it's been off ball, but there's been so many close chances in terms of demos being made, in terms of boost steals. Everybody is looking for that mistake. Everyone is trying to force an error here, but they've been just off the mark. That's how aware everyone has been on the field.
Apparently Jack grabbing that boost away from Mist. This will be high off the challenge from Chronic. And first killer, he got a second touch on this. They got around apparently Jack. Now Typical needs one to get around Chronic. He's got it. And it's Mist who just couldn't get on top of that shot. First killer, tough angle. At least try to keep this available. But Chronic will have it away. No harm, no foul for Gen.G, but now they got to worry about Typical. Mist lurking as well. He's coming up now to challenge Chronic. First killer in the air, looking for the double. No, he's left it for Typical, and it goes off of Mist. Another opportunity saved by Nolly. Give him a medal as that goes off to the corner. FaZe Clan really let one go by the wayside when maybe they should have had a cleaner look.
Yeah, now Chronic starting that counterattack, gets it past one, gets it out into the middle. Nolly far back. You would think FaZe Clan were coming up with a scoring opportunity there, but unfortunately for them, it doesn't go the way they want. Mist ended up taking the hit on that, and oh, Nolly wanted to stretch for that. Gen.G now having the offense, but only for a moment, as Typical got that right to first killer on a dime, almost got that double out. They're trading back and forth attacks up the field.
Oh, Typical's got to be sure-handed here. That's a good win by Jack to at least get a piece of it. Now Typical trying to break out with first killer, Mist in behind him. And apparently Jack again back out to midfield. Both teams have had plenty of near misses in the first couple of minutes of overtime. And every time first killer's on the ball in the air, you kind of get to the edge of your seat and wonder what else does he have up his sleeve.
I mean,
Typical again trying to get one through, and he's had some good wins. They're pushing the ball deep into the zone, Daz, but just not able to get the shot on that they need.
This game is so close. If a demo happens, I'm at the edge of my seat, Stan, because that leads to so many chances. Chronic tried to get that into the top corner and got knocked out. Even for that challenge there from Nolly, last back, he misses that. It's game, but it might be game here. Chronic pops it up. Jack wants to get the follow-up. No, even after Nolly got the demo, Gen.G couldn't capitalize. Ball still in the midfield. Mist has free reign to control this as he's trying to play it up off the backboard.
One thing that makes Gen.G more dangerous than probably any other team in the world is their teamwork, and that extra pass, FaZe is ready for it. It kind of surprises a lot of teams, and when they lose that element of surprise, Gen.G looks mortal at times. It's Chronic right at first killer. Gonna try and dive bomb down onto it, but Jack has fended him off. And it's Chronic coming up now to play around Mist. That's a great indirect pass for apparently Jack, who's whiffed on it, and it leaves Nolly in an awkward spot, and the bank is just off the mark. Typical for the win, far down and in, and FaZe Clan is up 2-0.
It was disaster on both sides for a moment. First killer missing the touch, threw off everyone. But Typical, who's had a fantastic tournament so far, comes in clutch and scores that goal to end the game. Big win here for FaZe Clan. You got to think Gen.G called that timeout game one to slow things down. This game goes into overtime, back and forth, so many chances here, and we played 8 minutes of straight Rocket League, and FaZe Clan able to come out on top. That's going to be a great spot for them to be in.
feels like FaZe Clan took Gen.G's best shot over and over and over again. The better part of the 12 shots that Gen.G threw at him and repelled them every single time. 9 saves, many very acrobatic. Had to be right on top of their game to stop Gen.G with a very clever attack more often than not. Just not enough. And now FaZe Clan up 2-0 in the series. There is no timeout available now for Gen.G. They burned that after game 1. And it did not yield any different results other than it took them a little bit longer to drop the second game. And there's the architect there for FaZe Clan. Rolled is. Got him up 2-0. Now we go to the iconic backdrop of DF8 Stadium as FaZe Clan looks to reach match point against the dominant reign of Gen.G.
What do you do if you're Gen.G Mobile 1, you end up losing that game after calling your timeout? How do you get back into it when it seems like they're not allowing you to score at all? I say that, but that floats in from Chronic, top left, and for the first time, we have Gen.G starting it off.
Yeah, they've got their first lead here in this grand final. Just a little teardrop from Chronic finding its way in. And is that the spark that Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing needs to get right back into this series? We'll find out. His first killer gets swatted out of the air by Chronic. And apparently Jack will have Nolly waiting to try and follow up this play. Around missed, but right at first killer. And FaZe Clan unable to clear the zone. Wide open net. Chronic does it again.
There goes the demos. Opening that lane in the back end is Nolly. Able to take Sip out the play. Open look at the net. And Gen.G has not had these opportunities all series long. You give Chronic a shot like that, he's going to make it every time.
The beast has been awakened. Less than 40 seconds gone by in game 3. Gen.G finally here to play. First killer around Chronic. Chronic's gonna have to get back. Got the touch to disrupt Sipical's follow-up. And who's gonna have this? It's Mist and Nolly, 50-50. First killer up to the backboard here. Sipical tried to thread the needle, and apparently Jack with a great reflex save.
I mean, that's a great play. A lot of people would have expected first killer to come in, but it's Sip again who's been putting on the shot pressure as he banks this goal in for FaZe. Pitch out to the middle, no one home to read that, and bar down and in. Sipical makes this a 1-goal game for FaZe Clan.
Sipical has been oh so reliable, especially here in the Winter Cup for FaZe Clan. They certainly would not be here without him, as apparently Jack will play this off to the wing. And Mist is tracking this. He'll have it easily. The demolition by first killer taking out Nolly behind the play. First killer's got to range back and get this to Sipical, but it's given away. And Chronic, maybe the last guy FaZe Clan wants to see with the ball, is he's been the spark for Gen.G so far. At least they repel that effort, and Sipical has this save, easy as it is.
Good control here for first. Plays this into the corner. You see Jack going by to try to grab it. He's gonna get sent way across. Chronic puts that back into the blue half. Jack looking to find Nolly. Nolly, though, that's a great challenge in the corner. And FaZe Clan kind of all into the corner right now, able to kind of clear it away. You see a demo come out for first killer. Everybody, you have to keep an eye on everyone on the field, because with both of these teams looking out for that extra pass, looking to see, okay, there doesn't need to be a single guy who leads the charge here for either side. I mean, it just makes really good Rocket League.
Good challenge by Mist to bring this back to exactly the center dot in the air. Chronic to apparently Jack. Nolly trying to run interference underneath. Not a big enough distraction. What a read by Chronic. That's going to drop down for apparently Jack, and just nobody opting to go for that ball. Maybe Jack thought Chronic had another play. Either way, the communication breaks down for Gen.G, and FaZe Clan are let off the hook. Can they find an equalizer because of it? Oh, yes, they can! Sipical up high and down hard.
Look at Sippy Cup going through, gets the double. Been playing out of this world for FaZe Clan. People put their eyes on first killer, but what happens when first killer passes the ball? You're looking at it right now. What a performance. No matter what happens, you gotta give Sip credit here. I mean, the work that he's been able to do once he's been, you know, fed the ball has been just stellar.
Missed down to ground, but Nolly with the win. Apparently Jack trying to leave this for Chronic, looking for a hat trick. Not happening, and Nolly's shot saved by Mist. Got to be a lot more creative to beat Mist one-on-one from that range. Nolly with a full tank of boost. He'll try and turn things around again for Gen.G. Lost it, but Chronic will pick up the pieces. Apparently Jack again couldn't get any contact going along the back line. What can Nolly do? Burning a lot of boost. He'll set up Jack. There's a shot that gets by Sipical, and Gen.G are back on top.
You better not sleep on Gen.G no matter what the scoreline's looking like, because that man Jack, perfect shot. It doesn't get much more perfect than that. Top left corner, Noli with a great assist. Gen.G Mobil 1 regain the lead with 1:30 left.
Sipical will start it from the back line again with Mist diving down a high hopper that Nolly's got to get up to the backboard for. First killer just waiting for an opportunity to make his mark on this series again. Mist on target. First killer trying to get in the way of apparently Jack. It goes all the way over to Nolly. Oh, what a good stop by Mist. Again, just pestering Gen.G at the midfield. Sipical shot, no. Follow-up from Mist, finds its way through, and in the final minute, it's FaZe delivering a haymaker of their own.
Shot after shot. These two teams been trading blows. Jack, you thought Jack was gonna get there first, but when you look at the replay, I think that was first killer right under him, making him awkward. And just like that, it's anybody's game.
That ends a stretch of 4 straight FaZe Clan goals that were scored by Sipical in this series. It's now Chronic. Stopped by Mist again. Only got a piece of this. And apparently Jack, can he stay with this play? He certainly can. Chronic up the ladder, but Mist is there first. And away it goes. Another overtime hanging in the balance, perhaps. As Nolly, that goes off a first killer and Mist there to pounce on it. Very fortunate were Gen.G not to get scored on there. Off the backboard again, loose ball, first killer, swatted away by apparently Jack.
Jack looking for a little bit of control. That's going to be a good clear from Chronic to be able to buy Gen.G some space. But they are going to try to play this down to the last seconds. Noli straight down for Jack. Jack tries to go low, and here comes first killer. Can they get the counter to end the game? The shot comes through. Saved off the corner. It's going to pinch all the way downfield, and Mist will let that hit the ground. Another overtime. Game 3. FaZe Clan win this. It goes to match point.
Almost any other team with Nolly up there in that position is probably going for some crazy redirect down to try and put one on target. FaZe Clan understands Gen.G is always going to make that extra pass, and they're not fooled by it one bit. Able to clear out very quickly. Now Mist beats apparently Jack. Nolly's only skied it up. He's got to clean up his own mess, and he will, with nobody from FaZe Clan diving in immediately.
First killer tried to get in the way of Noli. Noli's out of boost, so tries to hand that off to Chronic. Light touch from Sipical, but Jack should be able to take control. Gets bumped on the way up, though, and has to try to 51st killer in the corner. Chance here for Noli, going off the ceiling, tried to get that flip out, and no one able to follow up, so here comes Sipical trying to lead the charge for FaZe Clan. Still more pressure, though, as FaZe Clan is still looking a little uncomfortable at the start of this overtime.
Sipical going to work again, and apparently Jack with another savior medal to send that one off the backboard. Chronic around first killer. It'll only be Sipical at the back, no problem for FaZe. Nolly didn't have it the first time around, and Sipical bounced it just a little too high. Gen.G used yet another one of their lives, and that one goes wide from Mist. FaZe continues to pour it on. First killer trying to chase Nolly away from the net, but Chronic is there, and he'll pop that away. The demo from Sipical may matter. Mist got the win, and Chronic will just recover in time.
What a dunk there from Mist. That one looked like it was rolling in. A lot of defense here being played on the blue side. Space given, and that could prove fatal for FaZe Clan. Here comes the play out. There was a demo, or almost a demo on the play. Noli was going for one. Now FaZe Clan able to relieve the pressure, and they tried to get a strong counter. Mist was up so early for that, but it wasn't enough.
Chronic given a rare bit of time and space to work with, and he kind of gave the ball away. First killer bringing it back central. Nolly repels. As Mist thought about the midfield boost and said he'll go for the shot instead. That forces Chronic to make the save. Gave up that boost to Typical in midfield, and now he's up the ladder. Needs a second touch. Nope, left it for Mist. That's just left a bit to be desired. Maybe trying to create a juicy rebound. That didn't quite happen. But Gen.G still scrambling defensively. Chronic taking his time trying to get around first killer. They're waiting for that corner boost to spawn. Now Typical met by apparently Jack. And that falls right to Noli, who can clear the center line finally. Only for a moment though, as Mist will bring it back in. We've played more than half an extra game, and still no give at 3-all.
No one giving up here. Gen.G's defense has been solid. As they finally they're able to clear it in space. The problem was they just struggled to get past that midfield line. FaZe Clan had so much control there in terms of just getting that consistent offensive pressure. But now, Gen.G Mobil 1 with some room out in front. But how long can they hold on to it? They got to make something happen. FaZe Clan's defense has been just as strong as their offense this series. As a chance here for another transition comes.
How big would this be for FaZe Clan to take 2 lengthy overtimes to get on match point in a best of 7? Nolly ranging just to get a piece of this ball, and apparently Jack ahead of Typical, but he's going to be way downfield. First killer set him up, and he couldn't continue the play. That's well defended by Jack and Gen.G.
And look at that read, too. Just knowing that Jack's going to get the pass there. Uh-oh, danger! Typical is up in the air! The star strikes again! First killer gets that high, steps there to reach it, and slams it home! FaZe Clan put this series on match point!
5 of the last 6 FaZe Clan goals have come from that man, Typical, who adds a hat trick to his tally in Game 3. 3 goals for Sip, 3 wins for FaZe Clan, trying to turn North America on its head.
And what do you do if you're on the side of Gen.G Mobil 1? You've already used the timeout in
I was
Game 1.
Say you call a timeout. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore. This has been close, though. I mean, as close as it can be.
Yeah.
The last 2 games, back-to-back, 3+ minute overtimes here. And it just feels like when it comes down to it, that FaZe pressure and the way that they've been performing has been just it's just been on such a high level that for Gen.G Mobil 1 to get caught in this defensive trap and they end up playing towards FaZe's speed, they're not fast enough. That's just been clearly shown in some of these goals that we've seen, but it's not over yet. Game 4, can Gen.G Mobil 1 start a reverse sweep here against FaZe Clan is the question. Or is FaZe Clan gonna take this series in a sweep?
It's almost like they're in their comms. That fake kickoff's probably the first time FaZe Clan has even been remotely surprised by anything that Gen.G has thrown at them. And even then, it didn't really amount to much. We go to Utopia for Game 4, and FaZe Clan 5 minutes away, or maybe 8 or 9, or however many minutes it takes, if they go to another overtime, from sweeping Gen.G as Typical continues his absolute dominance in this series.
Look at the setup for Mist. First killer also with a bump on the play. Chronic, there was just no chance. No chance for a play there after first killer getting that bump down. And just like that, FaZe picked things up and put the pressure on Gen.G.
Typical came in with 22 assists to lead everybody in the tournament, averaging just over 1 a game. He had only scored 10 times himself. He's got 6 in just over 3 games here in the final. Nolly, a second touch at least gave his defense a chance, and missed. He hit the crossbar and could not follow it up.
Still more FaZe possession. This time, first killer, the threat of the pass was there, but decided to go slow, trying to mix things up there. It almost worked out. The Gen.G was set. Now Demo on the other side. As Noli takes out one, open lane for Jack, and Jack gets on the board. We got a tied up game.
Yeah, missed. Doing all he could to just kind of hang in there. Unfortunately, didn't get much air under this ball. So apparently Jack able to follow up the play. The demolition certainly didn't help matters any. Nobody back for FaZe Clan. We're all tied up here in game 4.
Gen.G are going to have to scratch and claw their way back into this series step by step, and they have no more room for error. Meanwhile, all the confidence on the side of FaZe Clan. And this is what we'll really see, is this Gen.G roster tested, because FaZe Clan opened up this series and said, this is the level we're going to bring to the table. You can either match it or you can get out of our way. And Gen.G on the last leg here.
Well, Mist will power this downfield. Apparently, Jacko dished it off to the corner where First Killer was waiting the whole time. But now Chronic up ahead where Nolly's streaking down the field. Apparently, Jack starting to head towards the corner, but wisely peeled away. Nolly's waiting to see what Jack's got. Drop it down. Nolly's shot high and wide. Follow-up is saved by Mist.
There's Chronic.
Follow-up, and that one's saved too. Oh, I tell you what, FaZe Clan right now, they've seen it all a second and a half in advance. It's crazy. We have not seen a team shut down Gen.G quite like this.
Yeah, I mean, even for Mist there, that first save was phenomenal. Can they stop Jack here on the double? 2 go up on that. And now Noli playing it off the backboard, setting up a lane for Chronic, but sends it right to Mist. And you have, again, some of these shots, though, we're seeing out of Gen.G, they have to be a little bit better. There's 2 that's been, the last 2 have been straight in towards the middle of the net, making it so that FaZe Clan don't necessarily have to do too much work here. Better placement could yield to better results, but first you gotta stop the transition, and Noli does, stopping First Killer shot.
Nolly's giving Gen.G a chance. Trying to get him downfield now. 2 go for FaZe. Opportunity for Gen.G. Chronic. Decent first touch. Better second. And First Killer still finds a way to shut him down in the air. Nolly's second touch leaves that ball for nobody in particular. Apparently Jack being chased by First Killer. But he couldn't get to this coming off the wall. Getting a little ugly now with just over 90 seconds remaining in regulation. Another overtime perhaps is typical. Blocked by Nolly. And apparently Jack trying to fool First Killer. They've had to get creative and maybe a little bit desperate. Chronic just barely avoided contact on the way back.
Typical did get a piece of Chronic, but it actually kind of helped him recover a little bit. So then Chronic was able to go in and honestly make that save out. Fair play there, though, for FaZe Clan. Again, sending someone downfield, looking for the bumps on the last man back, trying to throw things off as much as possible. Can First Killer give FaZe the lead? Demo on the play. Typical had to follow, but blocked out. Noli will get credited with the save. We're approaching the final minute here, and Jack trying to turn things around here for Gen.G. They have the ball on the offense, but they have not been super successful this game. So many shots. They've sent 7, but they've only scored 1.
That was a bold challenge by apparently Jack at midfield. Last man, but he made it. This drops right down to First Killer from the ceiling. Still tied up here with now 30 seconds remaining. Apparently Jack has Nolly wide right. That got around Mist. Jack rolled it home and First Killer recovers for the save that saves game 4. Keeps us tied. And now Mist flexing his muscles through 2. Nolly, last boss, makes the stop, then downfield into an open net with only 8 seconds remaining.
Gen.G not done yet. Look at this breakout from Noli. Catches them out and puts it home. He has the read. Now they have to hold on for 8 seconds.
What does FaZe Clan have up their sleeve? It's Typical, who taken out by Nolly. That goes over first. Typical spawns right under the ball as it goes over his head. And now FaZe Clan have to go all the way downfield. Apparently Jack will catch this and should be able to bring it to ground, and he does with a little bit of help from his friends. And Gen.G stay alive. 1 down, 3 more to go.
There will be no sweep in this grand final. I say that, but there may be a chance for a reverse sweep. Gen.G Mobil 1 battle back here, and FaZe Clan are the ones that come up empty, playing so consistently up until this point. And that's got to be scary for FaZe here as well, because you had Gen.G. I mean, no timeouts. You came through 2 big overtimes. Momentum is strongly in your favor here. That being said, they could not convert any more. and we play on.
We do play on. That man, Nolly, the hero in Game 4 in many, many ways.
Yep.
He only credited with a couple of saves, but he had some great defensive efforts that shut down FaZe Clan throughout that game. And he scored his first goal of the series, the game winner, with only 8 seconds remaining. And now the attention starts to shift maybe a little bit over towards FaZe Clan. Remember, they hold all the cards, right? The 3-0 lead to start this series. They still have their timeout in their pocket. When do they use it? Do they use it here after Game 5 if Gen.G make this a little more interesting? We'll have to wait until we're done with Wasteland to find out. Game 5, another closeout opportunity for FaZe Clan, trying to take down Gen.G. They've been the only team that's done it in a final. Can they do it again?
I'm sure there's been someone out there who thought this one was over, said, okay, we can pack it up. Glad this was a short day, but the games are still going, so keep it locked in. What is FaZe Clan going to do as an adjustment here? Can Gen.G continue that same output? Here's Mist on the ball, trying to get it around Chronic. I mean, that win neutralizes so much in terms of the direction that this series was going, and Wasteland will be a big factor in how things shift.
It commands a little bit of extra respect, too, for what Gen.G is capable of, because everybody knows they can rally from almost nothing. This shot finds its way in! Chronic from out of nowhere! Top left!
Look at this. Sent over to the side. You see First Killer, he wants a piece of it. Pinch to the top left corner. Chronic says thanks for the assist. Gen.G with the lead here to start. Plenty of game to go, though.
And let me just paraphrase what every FaZe Clan fan is thinking right now. Uh-oh. Here goes Chronic. He's dancing around First Killer, but First has got that right back to Sipical. Good recovery. Now Chronic shadowing Sip. And First Killer playing that one around the side. Sipical waiting for a pass from First Killer, maybe a rebound. Oh! First Killer couldn't get it to go. It looked like he had it all the way, but it just stays out. And then Sipical's missed this opportunity for Gen.G as apparently Jack tried to serve it up for Chronic. There's Nolly, and apparently Jack couldn't direct that past Mist.
Oh man, Mist savior there. That was almost guaranteed, but Mist, that speed, phenomenal. Another chance for a pass. Nolly got a piece of it, but wasn't able to redirect it. Chronic follow-up is in, and Gen.G now on a 2-goal run.
Remember all that nonsense from earlier in the series about how Gen.G just kind of outthinks their opponent? They outfox them. They're outmaneuvering them now and simply outplaying FaZe Clan. Got a couple quick ones to start Game 5. And the comeback starting to look a little bit more realistic, and the pressure mounts on FaZe Clan with every attack. Mist couldn't get by Nolly, who again comes up with a brilliant defensive stop. Apparently Jack will bring this from the backboard, and he's going to get around First Killer and Sipical, and that's a great defensive stand again by Gen.G. Then they've turned it into offense. Apparently Jack credited from that effort by Chronic.
Oh my goodness, this was incredible. You can see Sip was trying to get that demo on Nolly. The pass to Chronic. Chronic basically scores this goal. Jack will take it though. I mean, what a transition. These guys are matching with the speed and the ability to move the ball around the field. Gen.G Mobil won up by 3 here with 3 minutes left. Even on FaZe's strongest drive there that game, they still came up empty.
And look at apparently Jack just going right through the whole FaZe Clan defense until he gets stopped right at the end. First Killer lets one rip and it hits the crossbar. Murphy's Law starting to be enforced here. If it can go wrong, it will, and it is right now for FaZe.
Jack playing this slow. And now the question is for FaZe Clan, what does the resolve look like? Can they still continue to play this play style and find each other, or will we start to see a bit of tunnel visioning? Is this one in the corner? Noli puts it in the midfield. Sip is there to read it, lining up the double. Misses. No, first killer not in position for a follow. Miss will play this high, trying to force an error, but Chronic is up to meet it. First killer's doing donuts in the midfield. Finally there to take a shot. Miss looking for the follow, but Noli stretch save to deny, and Gen.G send it the other way.
They put a lid on it right now. Just cannot find a hole to shoot through. Now first killer, just play that to the back wall, and apparently Jack's got it all the way. Inside 2 minutes with Gen.G turning things around. Chronic double on target, but first killer saves it away. Save your medal for him. This one won't be saved as Nolly got it to apparently Jack. He'll slam it home on the doorstep, and Gen.G have completely flipped the script.
Oh, yes, they have. This is straight dominance here in Game 5. Everything FaZe has thrown at them with their 7 shots has been denied. And matched with just even more power from Gen.G right now. And like I said, if you tuned out after Game 3, you're trying to figure out what happened. And this is just, again, this Gen.G squad do not give up. And they're showing you why you shouldn't count them out early.
Maybe they got word that the first 3 games weren't, in fact, a test lobby. Apparently Jack couldn't get to this. First killer just barely cleared it away. Chronic now to the backboard. Mist is there. Doesn't matter. Nolly adds another. It is 6 unanswered goals right now from Gen.G.
The momentum is showing here. Look at that block there, a miss from Chronic. That makes Mist super awkward. Can't get that power to get the save out and sets up a lane for Noli. Everybody on Gen.G Mobile 1 getting the goals here in Game 5. And at this point, we're looking at Neo Tokyo next.
Oh my goodness, Chronic adds another. Look, as big a beating as FaZe delivered in Game 1, at least Gen.G scored. At least they got up off the mat and kept fighting. This right now is as big a laydown as we've seen. Chronic adding another, his 5th goal of the series, 6-0 to Gen.G.
And one of the biggest factors to look at this is typical. He's got 72 points, only 1 shot this game. It's as if they've just shut him completely down here when he did so much work in those opening games for FaZe Clan. 30 seconds left, Typical and First Killer both in the air, and you wonder now if we're having a situation like what we saw in Europe with Team Liquid, where they got blown out and they decided not to take a timeout. Will we see something different here as the clock ticks down, and we know Game 6 is on the horizon?
And we know we'll go to at least Neo Tokyo. I'd like to think Raul is considerably smarter than that. As Mist will circle around on one, they'll look for any consolation at all and find absolutely none. Nolly just gives them a little bit of mercy, not going for a 7th goal. And Gen.G brings it all the way back, 2 in a row. And we do have confirmation. Raul and FaZe are calling the TO. They had it in their back pocket in case they needed it. This is the time after dropping 2. This one in particular, really hurtful for FaZe Clan to drop.
Yeah, it's really hurtful. And even though the timeout is called, it still adds onto the momentum of Gen.G because now they know, oh, we got them. We picked them apart, we figured them out, and now they're trying to slow us down because they know the potential of really what's going on if they let this continue. For this FaZe Clan team, again, that last game didn't necessarily show the team play that we saw in the earlier ones. And you could see where things kind of started to struggle, especially on some of those counterattacks from Gen.G Mobile 1. Raul really, I mean, in order to make sure this doesn't get out of hand here, it's a big timeout.
And this is a FaZe Clan team that has benefited multiple times from his guidance, probably most recently and most famously with the match with Oxygen at the Rotterdam Major. Able to turn that series around with Roll Diz calling the shots. He's got to engineer another turnaround here because Gen.G holds all the momentum. 7 unanswered goals going back to the game winner from Nolly in Game 4. And we look back now at the Gen.G highlight reel. We saw one from FaZe Clan after Game 1. But this one, 100% reigning champs, Gen.G.
Yeah, then they sit there now, making sure not to, making sure to still communicate here during this time. But even some smiles coming out there from Malu as they are down in this series. But they know that with that timeout being forced, okay, we have some weight here. They cannot lose anymore. No lives, no timeouts. It's just straight Rocket League from this point on.
This has happened before to FaZe Clan in a best of 7. It was the second time in the same event that we saw a North American BO7 reverse sweep. And it was typical shot that died on the goal line on Champions Field that secured it. Will it happen again? 5 more minutes. Neo Tokyo the backdrop as we kick off game 6. What else does Chronic have up his sleeve? He got things started for Gen.G in game 5, trying to do it again in 6, and he has!
The young one in Chronic getting this touch out. Typical tries to go up, but he didn't expect that last second touch out from Chronic. And Gen.G pick up where they left off. First goal of the game.
One thing that goes in favor of FaZe Clan, despite that opening goal, we'll get to it in a moment, as Nolly's got a big win here. Chronic, it is just wide on an open net. Apparently Jack doubled. Still not a whole lot of resistance, but it was slow enough. Zypical recovers. Teams that use their timeout in that exact situation that FaZe Clan just did, they do still win 13 out of 15 times. That timeout while up 3-2, so they've got at least that going for them historically. But the stats don't matter if you don't make it matter. And right now, Gen.G is all over FaZe Clan.
Big boom downfield. Noli's there to play it off the corner to Chronic. Chronic looking for another touch, but it's high. And Mist will clear away the danger. Oh, that's a big miss for Jack. And punished for that. Mist says, thank you. You can see the frustration from Jack on the screen. Knows he should have had that one.
A rare miscue out of Gen.G and especially out of apparently Jack. And Mist will end the scoring drought at 8 consecutive goals out of Gen.G. FaZe Clan went on a similar stretch yesterday when they had scored 9 in a row against the Knights, and apparently Jack will get it right back.
There you go, and look at that. An immediate change there from Jack. They get this one quickly off the kickoff. Great pinch from Chronic. Typical drove a little too high there, and Chronic snuck it right under him. Great speed from Jack to get to the ball. Gen.G Mobil 1 take the lead again.
It's typical on the kickoff that Chronic ultimately wins.
Oh, here comes the
and
ball.
He's a decoy. Nolly, apparently Jack was behind him, and Nolly just could not make anything happen there. Gen.G really let FaZe Clan off the hook. They're right back in their face as First Killer brings us through. Now Mist with First Killer running ahead, and First Killer will take the goal, and that's going to be his first since game 1.
This game has been messy, it's been scrappy, and it's given us almost everything here. Misses off the corner. Gen.G had a prime chance to strike and make it a 2-goal lead. That miscommunication came through. FaZe took advantage of it, but by no means is anybody in control here. It is the Wild West on Neo Tokyo.
So we go right back to square one. Just over 3 minutes remaining in regulation. First Killer just throwing at the net. He couldn't follow that play. And Chronic now try to gather around Mist. Only First Killer to beat. Easier said than done. Oh, Noli's up with apparently Jack jumping as well. That could have been real dangerous for Gen.G if FaZe Clan got a clean clear. Now Chronic back towards the net, and First Killer following into his own net. Makes that save away. And Nolly can at least stay with this play and pester the FaZe Clan defense even more, as here comes Gen.G looking for more offense.
This is a little...
Oh, they got Typical.
Oh, wait, chance here. Typical does get bumped. Chronic tried to do it all himself. Noli up there to meet First Killer. Did Chronic take the boost in the corner? He did. So still trying to keep that pressure. Goes off the ceiling here. But First Killer will play into his own corner. This is really sloppy defense from FaZe Clan compared to what we've seen earlier this series. And Gen.G's been doing their best to take advantage of it, but their offense hasn't been that good either because they have not been able to consistently follow up the ball.
Well, Noli and First Killer ran into each other, and that was actually a boon for Noli. It knocked him right back into the corner boost that he had left behind. And now Chronic waiting with a full tank right at midfield. He's going to go to work now, trying to get around Mist. First killer takes out apparently Jack. There will be no rebound opportunity. And now first killer right at Nolly. Nolly up to the task as he has been all night.
Mist clears that out, has to, really no other options for space. But look at this, Gen.G able to pick up the ball even quicker and send it way back into the other field. Now, FaZe are just trying to get the ball out to buy them some space. But with that lack of control, they haven't been able to do much. Jack looking for a bump on Mist. Oh, got it past Mist, but typical there to cover up the mistake.
Mist had to be patient too. He didn't know if apparently Jack was going to find a way onto that ball in the air. Is in a real awkward spot, but FaZe Clan tightrope their way out of danger. Now it's Chronic over on the side. Everything mattering so much more now. Nolly's shot on target, but Mist ranges over for the save. Apparently Jack will take this himself to the corner. He's got Chronic waiting. Oh, shot barely off the mark, got his own rebound, and Mist is there to mark him the whole time. First killer, the save on Nolly. Now it's Chronic's turn to serve up apparently Jack, looking for maybe a game winner again here in the final minute. It's Chronic around, and Typical missed it, but Nolly couldn't hammer it home.
Now they finally get some breathing room. Here come FaZe Clan on the other side of the field. It felt like Gen.G had them in a chokehold, but things finally are able to settle down here. Chronic on the ball, leaves it for Jack. Jack with the shot, but missed. Great save out from him. 30 seconds remaining, and this ball is back on the orange half. FaZe have been playing defense for a majority of this game. They used the demos to try to get out space, but the offense from them has not been there. A chance here for something, but Jack able to knock it away in time. They're testing that backboard again. This time Jack clears it to Nolly. Uh-oh, Typical on the ball. He could end it here. Plays it high, but not good enough for FaZe to set up any semblance of offense. It's looking like we have another overtime on our hands as first killer grounds this ball.
Golden goal to avoid Champions Field for FaZe Clan. This goes deep into the FaZe end, however. It's Chronic. Swatted away by first killer. Infield pass. Chronic, Nolly there. Nobody got a shot. Now apparently Jack. He'll let one rip, and we will head to Champs Field.
FaZe Clan stunned on the goal line, and apparently Jack says we are not done yet. Top left corner goal. Gen.G bring it back, and we are going the distance here in the grand finals.
It looked oh so bleak after a couple of overtime winners out of FaZe Clan. And then all of a sudden, Chronic happened. He's got 6 goals in the series, a massive part of this comeback charge, but it's apparently Jack who gets back on the board. His 8th goal sends us to Game 7 in the grand finals of the Winter Cup.
And what more can this series deliver here? We've gotten dominant performances, early starts, strange, questionable timeouts, sloppy play, excellent play, and we are going into this Game 7, and you can't tell me you know who's going to come out on top.
A lot of very interested parties watching this series come to its conclusion. All the teams sitting behind FaZe Clan, and even some that are sitting in front of them, like G2, who would fall behind FaZe if FaZe were to win this event. It has been a wild, emotional ride, and it comes to a head on Champions Field.
FaZe Clan have dropped 3 straight games, including a timeout, after a timeout that was historically in their favor. They have not been able to close this series out, and Gen.G Mobil 1 has turned it on its head. They are leading in the start here on the offensive end. They've been leading in the last game or so that they've won. And for FaZe Clan, they're trying their best to not drop a 3-0 lead in the grand finals. Here we go.
The great ones find a way, and Gen.G has done exactly that. As Chronic will yield to apparently Jack. Mist is up there to meet him. And this will fall by the wayside. Mist just lob one downfield, try to keep Gen.G honest. Nolly's got it. And he will be met by Typical. First Killer and Chronic collide at midfield. It's First Killer, the better of the two. He's left behind for Mist. He couldn't make the contact. And a missed opportunity for FaZe Clan. They'll get another chance. And apparently Jack and Chronic combined for the save.
It's a great pass from Sip to Mist. And Mist tried to go low there. Reactions from Gen.G, though, keeping them in the game here at the start. But FaZe Clan starting to find each other here on the assists. And keep an eye on Typical. If he comes alive, it could be what FaZe need. Tried to turn on that, but Chronic will get the save.
Missed. Up in the direction of First Killer. Problem is, Chronic is an obstacle. Typical will try. That goes indirect for apparently Jack. One more touch needed to get some control, and he slipped it by First Killer. Leave it for Chronic. Everybody's got to get back now for Gen.G. That kicks out towards Chronic, and he had to pump the brakes for a moment. Now Typical looking for an infield pass. He's found Mist. No, he's found Nolly with a big clear and a brave effort that was. Apparently Jack almost beat First Killer and almost got the strike for Gen.G.
The theme of this split has been breakthrough, and we've seen FaZe Clan do that with the poor start and getting to the finals now. But Gen.G are trying to break through in this series, coming back from a 0-3 deficit in series score, and halfway through this game 7, they've been matching each other. No one has been able to score on either side.
Chronic will take charge from the back line. Midfield boost not there for him. Does not matter. Got the shot on. Oh, it's almost an own goal. Nolly almost there on the doorstep as well. A lot of almost defensively from FaZe Clan, but they do at least keep Gen.G out. Oh, so barely.
Free ball here for Nolly. Looking for Chronic. First Killer read it, though. Jack will play this off to the side. Chronic will hit the ball again. We'll pick up that midfield boost and try to stay on it to slow things down, not letting FaZe Clan get those strong counterattacks we've seen them do before.
It's only happened in a grand final one time last season in the APAC region, one of the APAC regions. Of course, now they're merged. As difficult. Oh, got it apparently Jack's way, and the distraction was enough. Mist will score, and is that the winner for FaZe?
Pass out, leaves it up for Mist. He's gonna put that shot on, and Jack tried to get a piece of it, wasn't enough. FaZe Clan lead here in game 7. Minute 40 to go in regulation.
Gen.G have been excellent on the kickoff, especially after conceding a goal. It happened even in game 6 with apparently Jack. That blunderous play, but he made up for it. But here's Mist adding another, trying to finish the series the way he started it.
Look at this, even with the turn and the challenge, FaZe Clan just matching that speed. Mist sees the net open again, and it will hammer it home. Is this going to be how this finals ends? Gen.G clawed their way back, and they haven't been able to come up with anything so far in game 7.
Have Gen.G come all this way only to fumble the bag at the end. Typical makes it even tougher. 3 on the trot out of FaZe Clan.
And the hill gets higher and higher. Typical able to score on this one. 3-0. A minute 19 here. FaZe Clan are not throwing this finals away. And does Gen.G with a very unfavorable clock, can they bring this back?
It's gonna take a lot of river to keep Gen.G afloat now. A minute 5 remaining. And FaZe Clan taking their sweet time before heading out towards midfield. Chronic stuffed by Mist. Nolly put the shot on. First Killer the save. And after all this, FaZe Clan clutching up at the end. Typical puts the cherry on top.
There's Sip again, and how fitting would it be? Gets the demo, gets the shot, and put what a lot of people are thinking right now is the nail in the coffin of this series.
4-0 the lead for FaZe Clan after they'd come oh so close to blowing a 3-0 lead. Chronic underneath, Nolly circling around. It is desperation now for Gen.G. If they want to come back, they will not. Typical ahead. First Killer, it's wide. Typical's on. Maybe Rocket LeVar will get off his case. He's got another.
This one, look at this. First Killer, great assist. Sip with the follow. It's a done deal. This FaZe Clan team has the resolve that even when they're pushed to their limits, things aren't working, they still stick together, and they come out with a very big, dominant, I'd say, in the later half, Game 7. They finally found their stride here, and they found the back of the net. And on the other side of Gen.G, a valiant effort to get back into this series, but they dropped it when they had it.
Typical is going to finish this series with at least 9 goals. Maybe one more if Mist can find him. Instead, it comes to ground, and FaZe Clan have dethroned Gen.G.